Oh. Happy New Year! It's Dandadan, the show where we talk about Dandadan, a manga about the Dum-Da-Dums. Now, is it me, or is Rin and Koki even more powerful than, we initially thought, perhaps? Or rather, Dandadan and Tatsu are keeping many more sleeves up their tricks, because now we have combo powers, baby! Gamer Sups is the best way to ring in the new year, whether you like flashy waifu or husbando cups, flavors and caffeine or caffeine-free, or you like me and you just like a little bit of it all and you buy way too many t-shirts. Use code CTACTICS to get 10% off. Okay, so where do we start with this chapter? Oh, I know, chapter 222 picks up from 221, with the three mysterious figures confronting Class Prez and Koki Yukishiro. This is our first big showcase from either of them in a while, so as you'd expect, this Dum-Da-Dum is pretty happy. These two are some of my dark horse favorites. I think Koki is easily one of the best new additions to the series, mostly because of her backstory about falling on hard times after losing a piano competition, which kind of changed her life. Eventually, she would succumb to isolation, seek attention by showing off her body on the internet to get some form of human interaction, which prompted Count Saint Germain to use his advantages and force her to wield a Kozuka knife, along with a new Lord of the Flies YOKAI ability to try and steal powers. Long story short, thanks to Queen Sensei and Dum-Da-Dums, this plan would be cut short and she would join our lovable gang of dorks. I don't know, I love that backstory. And I don't know why I had to regale you all about it. I guess I just felt I needed to remind you. Eventually, Rin and Koki would become very good friends, reveling in their love for vampire thralls, which, by the way, if you don't know, it's a word which gets its origin in the Viking Age in Scandinavia, meaning serf or slave. What's even cooler is thralls. They are low-level vampires who are enslaved by their vampire masters, typically by purebloods. I don't know why I mentioned any of this, but I did. This chapter opens up with a confrontation between two groups of people. Last week, we tried to figure out who these people were based on their silhouettes, and long story short, ya boy was wrong about yet another theory. That's okay, because as we see their designs, they are so bizarre that it immediately reminded me of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I don't know if you guys felt the same, but this top hat monocle guy here who is reading what looks to be a magazine from Kakashi's stash, is very much a great example of this. I love that stupid detail of him wearing finger cots on every finger besides his pinky. To be fair, it was one of the first things I noticed. Oh yeah, and also, the freaking pumpkin! Who is this guy? Why is he wearing a pumpkin? So we get a look at the other two as well. It seems the guy we thought was a guy may in fact be a super buffed up woman. Kind of reminds me of a character you'd see in Face Off, ironically. Also, this guy in the middle of the lineup reminds me of a lot of shonen anime villains with that buckle, the hair hanging down the middle, and what looks to be a scar on his face with closed eyes. Absolutely a Naruto or Bleach type of design. Still, I love the details on their faces. I don't know how Tatsu does it, but he does, and for that, I thank him for sacrificing so much for us and for his art. The fight opens with a blast from Pumpkin Butt. Oh, that's the first thing that came to mind, I'm sorry. Which grosses out the girls. Now, this fireball was insane. So the girls duck out of the way as we get a bit of a subtle confirmation, perhaps, mayhaps, and of course, some sneaky lore. The muscle mother / father addresses the edgy boy as Sir Red. Now, this sent off alarm bells, and how could it not? Because the Aninra's name is the Red Baron. As well, if we cross-reference, enhance, and zoom in, we can see the hair matches up too. And on top of that, I have a friend who specializes in feet, and we also ran some samples from a previous case and found that yes, these shoes are indeed the same shoes. So is this guy really our edgy nug lover? Who knows? I'd say all signs point to it being highly likely though. And so the muscle mother / father says to Sir Red, "Is the strength of knights like us really needed to defeat those pigs?" So going off context here, there does seem to be a classification for people like them. So we got knights, and these knights see people who are below them like the Dum-Da-Dums as pigs, which is, well, that suggests that there is some sort of hierarchy and separation by class in that organization. It's one of those things where you blink and you miss it, but this is enough to build upon a theory that actually I've been thinking about, which may be one of the series' biggest twists in terms of just well, I mean, you'll see later. We'll talk about it later in the video. But for now, Sir Red says something interesting. Don't drop your guard. Even pigs bite. Now that one really struck out to me, so I found some DNA samples, put them under the scope, and I wasn't able to really find anything. So, not sure if I missed anything skimming over those chapters with the Aninra, but it all does add up to be quite strange, and honestly, this line in particular makes me feel like it is alluding to something. The obvious subcontext here is that it may not be, as the kids say, that deep, which I hate that phrase so much, but this could just be a case of Sir Red alluding to the fact that he knows how tough the Dandadans are, as, well, they have already fought because he is the Aninra. So Class Perez calls upon Mai, which may be one of the best parts of this entire chapter. Mai is reading, get this, Rin's vampire books and manga. Now, I wonder, can anybody identify through the clues given that what the series that Mai is reading here? So straight out of a Michael Bay film, the kids begin to run as explosive volleys are launched at them by Araki's next idea for a villain in JoJo. I love this panel right here so much, I may add it in my Discord server as an emoji. It's just that good. You can tell everything about this guy from that one gesture. So he goes sideways and walks on air? I'm actually not sure what I'm looking at here, but he launches yet another attack as we see Class Prez undergoes her transformation into her idol form. Now, to me, it'll never get old seeing Class Prez transform. Hers are always so fun because they always come so suddenly. I also love the details of Koki reacting to her in awe. It was so cool. And another thing that I'll never get over is Mai's personality during all of this. Oh, God. Mai is just the best. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Koki gets her moment as well. The pygmies create a piano out of nothing for her to use, and so the Lord of Flies summons flies. I love the art of Koki on the piano too. I mean, every time Tatsu draws that, oh, I get the goosebumps, man. But, surprise! Pumpkin Butt easily defeats her insects by using his flame ability to char them. I actually never even considered this to be a possibility, but flame is quite effective against insects, and so is caffeine, which I learned about recently, but that's digressing. So if Sir Red has a can of Bustelo, Koki may indeed be screwed here. Now in shock over what just happened, even more bad news follows. Class Prez's control on the flow of gravity kinda means nothing in regards to Pumpkin Butt. The flames still fly towards them, but I think this detail shouldn't be ignored because this will absolutely be used in the fight later on, likely, obviously against the bad guys, because while the ability seems to not be working as intended right now, the idea that flame rises probably is a major factor in their upcoming defeat. That feels like one of those classic use their own advantages against them setups. So Koki calls out to Class Prez that it's session time, and session time is freaking expensive. So she accompanies Class Prez. And I love all of the little music references here, seeing as I'm kind of a music nerd and musician. I actually recently released my first song in 3 years last week, so I'm kind of super into music right now. But the pygmies tell them to work together and combine their powers to amplify their strengths and minimize their weaknesses. I love the detail that Pumpkin Butt's attacks are literally just farts, and so while fighting, all they are smelling are his farts. It's just so JoJo, it almost hurts! So in awe, we see Koki and her pygmies engulfed by flames as she and Class Prez are charred to a crisp. But even still, we get an insane moment where their powers awaken as Koki's eyes turn into this piercing, fiery gaze. Reminded me quite a bit of the Matrix of Leadership in 1986 Transformers, another thing I recently consumed in my server. But it would be great if we do get an edit when this is animated with, ironically enough, that song under it. I'd love to see that. Anyways, the flames are repelled by the bugs and Class Prez's music because they transform into something even more powerful than we've previously seen. They've combined. Koki and Prez's music give birth to their new form, which is just way better than I expected it would be. Easily. This is the best outfit Prez has ever had in the series. I know people love the tortoise shell, but oh god, this one is it's just superior in every way. The insect theme as well is awesome on these two. Prez has basically like an insect on her back, complete with its legs. Her leggings and gloves combined with her dress really do complete the aesthetic and complement them. I also love the earrings and the bow tie too. It all just, oh man, it looks so good. Koki as well, she's kind of the same in regards to this. She is wearing a dress but has insect wings coming from her back and eyes as her hair ornaments. I'm not gonna lie though, Prez is the better of the two for me. I like how Tatsu is able to take something that creeps pretty much all of us out with bugs and turns it into something that is empowering and, dare I say, a little beautiful. Yeah, insect legs are icky and all of that, I agree, but it's a big accomplishment that Tatsu was able to turn this into a way to empower these two and, I don't know, and empower their look in this fight. It's just really cool. I like it. By the way, I'm still super pumped for this fight. Beyond just the new outfits, I mean, we should be getting something really special out of this, and I cannot wait to see how these evil dorks are defeated by bugs. Just give me more Koki Yukishiro kicking ass, and you got me on board. So, are knights and witches two factions warring within the already faction-heavy war between aliens and blah 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 blah? Let me explain further. We currently have these factions in the series like the Serpoians, the Dumdadums, Count Saint Germain, and now we have the Sorcerers Association and possibly Knights on top of that. This changes everything if there is yet another faction, because you have to ask, who or what are the Knights standing for? Are they all just a part of the Jeremy faction and are his knights who do his bidding for some reason? Or are they independent? If it is true that Sir Red is indeed the Red Baron, aka the Aninra, then this should confirm the Knights may in fact be a part of Jeremy's organization. If he is not the Aninra, then, oh Jesus, you guys, this gets changed so much. To me, I think factions are a great concept, and the more there are, within reason, of course, the more depth it adds to the world building and the lore. Doesn't matter too much if they do anything important, but them being there is basically a massive boon for the universal history of Dandadan. Think of One Piece. How many factions are there, and how many have a large involvement, and how many of those further expand the lore in One Piece by simply just being there? A lot, right? If there is no faction, this still is pretty big because it suggests that Jeremy's tendrils are even deeper than we had previously thought. He has more than Kurbati or Aninra on his side, basically. I've noticed that some of the antagonists as well, like Misadachi or the coach, as just some fleeting examples here, seem to be kind of like his DoorDash, Temu delivery driver type of employees. Really aren't a part of the organization, but work through them for commissions in the form of their problems being solved through whatever he promises. But there is some sort of distinction between them, it seems. One group seems to be tied directly to Jeremy, the other tied to them, but not nearly as trusted or important as, say, an Aninra or Kurbati. Does it make sense? Will it make sense? Why it makes sense? As per usual, I asked my Discord community their respective theories and ratings this week, and this week was a huge shocker because we had a split between peak and good, which I think is the first time we have ever seen a Dandadan chapter not get a peak rating. I invite it though, because not every week can be peak. Our first reactions to it are pretty good though. Generally speaking, everyone is happy to see that we're getting side characters developed, which is probably also the explanation for why this wasn't rated peak in a decisive way. Everyone loves to see main characters more than side characters because that is who we are most invested in. But I really like Koki and Prez, especially the aforementioned. While I am in no way bummed out over this, I'm cool with it, I do hope people will appreciate them just as much as our MCs. Then again, this is shonen, so anything goes, putting that in the most respectful way I can, but you know exactly what I mean when I say that. I also love that Cat called out the JoJo stuff. I mean, it's no secret that Tatsu is heavily inspired by the classics of modern shonen like One Piece and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. In many ways, Dandadan feels like a love letter and progression of those older manga that we love. Though it seems that at any time Koki shows up, the inner JoJo within Tatsu bursts out from the seams, it seems. I love double entendres, it seems. Also, yeah, President Shmem out here really saying the things I really want to say without getting yelled at. I don't know why I went southern there for a moment, but Rin's outfit is better, due in part to the fact that it is less revealing. It seems that no matter what I do, if I suggest that Rin's outfit is a little too sexy for a kid, I just get a lot of hate and negativity for it, which in a way is kind of dark from a societal perspective, but we're not going to dwell on that. That's for video essays of other kinds. Reminds me a lot of when I would gush over Ira because I like Ira, and tons of people were like, yo, why is this guy thirsting over a 15-year-old? He's a PDF file. When I wasn't at all. I'm just a goofy goober, and I like making jokes about really dumb characters like Ira. It's fun. Now, that being said, I am also 100% of Tatsu doing what he wants to do. It's weird, but I get it. And honestly, let's be real, I howl at the top of my lungs anytime Queen Sensei or Seiko Ayase are on screen or in a panel. Speaking of, someone in my Discord community recently, we were talking in voice and they said Psycho. And have I been pronouncing Seiko Ayase wrong? Wouldn't be shocking, knowing my track record, honestly, but just a question. President Shmem goes on to say that having Koki have two abilities makes her kind of insane, and then when you add on Prez, it kind of really gets nutty, as the kids would say. But I guess my big question is this. If this whole idea is to maximize their strengths, then inherently, you would think, those weaknesses are still there. So how could they get past that? We see that they were able to push back their flames, but what about Sir Red and Muscle Mother / Father? We don't know anything about these two yet or what they can do. Obviously, Sir McMuscles here likely is hand-to-hand and can fight, while it's looking like Sir Red is probably just the Ininra. How will Music be able to defeat Muscle and Smoke? I ain't got a clue. So we'll have to wait and see for next week, is what I would say. But the next chapter is on the 12th of January. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a rare bonus video from me, the Sea Tactics, next Monday. Or maybe not, as I can never keep to these promises as of late. We'll see what comes either way. Next time on Dandadan Z. If you missed last week's video, check it out right here. Also check out the green thumbnails. Those are my Chainsaw Man videos, which are just the same as these. Join our well-moderated Discord. Make it a great day or not. The choice is yours.